What's up guys, Winner Kills here, and welcome to a quick discussion video on the latest structure deck, the Order of the Spellcaster structure deck that I'm sure a lot of you guys have been hearing about as of late. Now, we did a poll the other day where I asked if you guys would want to see me giving a bit of an overview just before the official release of the structure deck, and a lot of you guys said yes. But about over 200 people voted, about 80% said yes. I will go ahead and get started. So this being the second really good structure deck that we've gotten this year, Salamangreat Soul Burner being the first one, now we have Order of the Spellcasters basically unleashing another very powerful deck, basically right out of the box into the meta. Now, the first thing I want to cover with the structure deck here, is it worth the $30? Because obviously when you buy a structure deck like this, usually you're gonna buy 3 of them. You're not just gonna buy 1, because if you don't, you won't get the play sets. Now, most of us usually buy these types of structure decks in 3s, because that way you get the play sets of pretty much all the cards that come in them. And most notably, Droll Knockbird, you get as a play set for this $30 price point, which is a great hand trap reprint. This thing has been needing a reprint for quite some time, and we finally gotten it. Also, Pot of Desires as well. Very great staple card to have. In common, this card will probably be very cheap on the market, which is great. Spellbook of Secrets is another notable reprint, and we also have Spellbook Magician of Prophecy, which is also in here as well, and Terraforming 2. So there's tons of great staple cards in here. Another great engine cards, such as things like the Spellbook engine itself, on top of all the great Endymion cards that we get in here, like Servant, Magister, the Mighty Master of Magic himself, and the Spell Power Control as a playset. And this cool Link Monster as well, which is okay, not the best, but pretty cool actually. So as a value standpoint, I would say it's definitely worth the $30 to just at least get some of these stable cards and get your hands on this incredible Endymion engine, because it can be thrown into so many other archetypes like Spellbook, like Zephyra, like Pendulum Magician. It's very versatile in being able to throw it into these very spell-heavy, strategies. It'd be interesting to see if it could work in Sky Striker, although I'm not entirely sure if it would. Yeah, the synergy probably isn't there, but it's just a thought, I guess. I don't know. So just as a value standpoint, I think this the value's there, 100%. The reprints, the like cards like Droll and Desires, the Endymion cards, the Spellbook stuff, the list goes on. Tons and tons of great cards in here. So from a value standpoint, this structure deck definitely holds up in my opinion for sure. However, there are some cards that aren't in here that, keep in mind, you will need to pick up if you don't have them already, to be able to play competitive build, to be able to get the most out of this deck itself. There are going to be some other things that you're going to need. Some of those things being a Pendulum Magician engine, a Zephyra engine, and the rest of the Spellbook engine. You're going to need cards like Spellbook of Knowledge, which isn't in here. You're going to need Spellbook of Fate, which isn't in here. Spellbook of Knowledge, or not Knowledge, I already said that one. Master, and Spellbook Grand Tower, if you're going to play that card. You're going to need those as well. Who could forget the Mythical Beast cards that you're going to need to play in here as well that aren't in here, unfortunately. Although we did just get a Jackal King reprint and Infinity Chasers, which I would highly recommend picking up, because they're about $2 a copy right now on TCG Player, which I think is a good deal. And then Mythical Beast Master Cerberus as well, which hasn't been reprinted, unfortunately, which is about 14 or 15 bucks a copy right now. And you'll definitely need to invest in those if you want to play this deck to its fullest potential, in my opinion. Like I said, the other Pendulum cards you'll need, Pendulum Magician cards, and Zephyra Pendulum cards. Heavy Metal Foes Electromite you should also want. Also need Crowley the First Prophecyr. That card fits very well into this deck strategy. If you're playing a Spellbook version, I'd highly recommend picking that up. That's really about it as far as that I can think of at the moment, of other cards that you'll want to get your hands on alongside of the structure deck. So don't just buy these things and you've got your tier 1 deck right out of the box, because you will be missing some things. Can you play the deck with just 3 structures? Absolutely, of course. Will it look a lot different? Yes. Will it not be as good? Probably not. But like, just know that you're going to need to invest in some other cards as well, especially other cards like Mythical Bestiary and Mythical Beast Garuda too, which is cheap, but Mythical Bestiary is about $5 or so a copy in climbing, but luckily OTS 10 saved the day with that, giving us a common reprint of that card, which should make it much more easily accessible and lower that price point a bit, which is usually really good. Now, with all that out of the way, all the value and other things that you'll need to pick up in order to play this deck, is this a very good deck? Is it a good deck? Will it compete? I absolutely 100% agree with that. It will compete. This deck is absurd. It can put out so much interruption turn one. It's consistent, but not consistent in the fact of, can it get a good amount of spell counters, a healthy amount of spell counters on all of your cards to be able to have a very solid established field? Because obviously this deck does revolve heavily around spell counters, which is a gimmick that sort of inherently slows it down just a little bit, which is unfortunate. But for me, that isn't a deal breaker. Most of the time, you can put out just like game-ending boards of just double Jackal King and double Master of Magic, and you're just chilling. And you have like so much negation power, so much stopping power. It's really a deck to be reckoned with. I think we'll see a lot of representation at locals, regionals, YCSs, and maybe even at the WCQ. This is a very powerful deck, not to be just overlooked, I think. Does it have some crutches, things that it loses against, things that it has a hard time against? And one of those cards, conveniently enough, is in the structure deck. Droll and Lockbird does hurt this deck quite a bit, so make sure you grab your Call by the Graves as well if you're going to pick this deck up, because it's definitely going to card you're going to want to either main or side deck in case this little thing gets sided in against you and tries to cause you some trouble. So I'd highly recommend looking out for Droll and Lockbird, because it does hurt this deck quite a bit. You do a lot of searching. Ash Blossom can hurt on Servant plays. That's probably one of the best things to Ash, if not Mystical Beast Master Cerberus. That's a very good Ash target as well, because it just sort of locks that scale up. But overall, like I said, there's really not too much else to be said other than the fact that this is a very competitive deck. I'm surprised that we've gotten 2 like tier 1 decks out of a structure decks this year. Wasn't really expecting that. I thought we'd just be sort of one and done with the Salamangreat one, and all the other ones would just be kind of forgettable ones. But this is definitely not that. I don't know if I can stress that anymore. So, like I said, it's definitely going to be tier 1, definitely going to be competitive at local, regional, YCS level. It's worth the value, $30, 100% worth it. Maybe if some places are unfortunately charging more than $10, I'd say it's still even worth it at $15 a box, which is just, I hate when people charge more than 10 than they always do, just because there's hyped up cards in there. But I think for the price point, for what's inside, for what you get, for the potential of all the cards that you get out of it, combined with some other cards that aren't in here, like, it's just too good of a structure deck to pass up on. So there's my opinion on it as requested. I hope you guys enjoyed this quick little video. If you did, be sure to drop a like, leave a comment, join Discord, follow me on Facebook and Twitter and Twitch if you want to see me play this deck live. There should be a couple VODs already on my Twitch channel of me playing Spellbook Endymion, sort of fleshing out a build that I'll be posting a deck profile of very soon. So be looking out for my Spellbook Endymion deck profile just in the next few days here. I'm still waiting on a few cards in the mail to be able to complete it, but once those get here, we should be able to have a deck profile for you guys all ready to go. And yeah, if you guys enjoyed, be sure to leave a like and check out Imperium Duelist as well, and we'll see you guys in the next one.